Would the bliss become an attachment?
Of course, you can attach to everything. You can get attached to the void, odd as that seems, but you can become very attached to that, and then you will not progress further because you delude yourself, you've reached the end point. And you don't want to move further because you are so attached to the void. You see, the mind can play tricks.
So is the bliss a layer of Anandamaya Kosha?
Anandamaya Kosha, that's one level of bliss. It's quite ecstatic.
Okay.
And then you go beyond that, and suddenly, like a tranquil ocean.
So that tranquil bliss is beyond Anandamaya.
Yeah. And there's still an experiencer of the bliss. So the bliss is an experience in the causal body or Anandamaya Kosha. And that duality goes away when you let go and merge beyond the causal body into the absolute self. And going beyond and merging into that combines Shiva and Shakti as a reality. That's why the bliss of the self is totally peaceful and calm.
So that bliss is basically the self calling us there, pulling us.
Yeah, you can say that. Grace is pulling you. Look, you're getting connected with the grace of the Divine Mother. Try to think a little bit about that, how grand it is. So don't waste it by not meditating. The supreme bliss beyond Anandamaya Kosha and the bliss of the self is, well, as I said, it's a fusion of Shiva-Shakti, or rather a realization that Shakti is Shiva and Shiva is Shakti. And there's no longer an experiencer, there's just it. So in Anandamaya Kosha, it's an experience of bliss, and the experiencer goes away, and you merge fully with Shiva-Shakti and realize that's your absolute nature, your real self. As long as there's an experiencer and an experience, you're in duality. And the bliss of Anandamaya Kosha is within duality. But it can be very ecstatic. I mean, eyelids flicker, heart palpitates, hair stands on end on the body, and mind races, and it's quite chaotic. Very blissful, but quite chaotic. And then you have to surf. That's my best metaphor. It's like surfing a wave. You stand still on the board, and the grace of the wave pushes you ahead. So the surfer surrenders to the wave, sits or stands still on his surfboard, and gets to the goal. And it's the same with meditation. Quiet down the experiencer so that the experienced is no longer experienced, but simply is your natural state, which is bliss, awareness.
So it could be for some enlightened, the bliss that they reject is the lower bliss.
The causal.
It could be a misunderstanding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's also a bliss level in the heart and one in the throat.
Yeah.
One in the third eye.
So they could be having a rejection against any one of those, thinking that that's,
Yeah,
it could be.
I would think so.
Yeah. So in that case, it's not a rejection of the Shakti per se. In some cases, could just be a misunderstanding.
Of course, it's a misunderstanding in all cases,
Yeah.
but it is a rejection
Yeah. And
because they are so attached to the empty void
the peak
and their illusion that that is the peak, the top, the pinnacle of spirituality.
Yeah. It's still
And
a
it's simply
rejection.
because they're just attached to it.
Yeah.